Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a good Friday. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I had to, I'm live. I'm sorry I'm on a little bit later than normal, but at least I'm on. I was just having some technical difficulties. So I got something new today. Something big came today. Wow, that wasn't supposed to happen. Whee! Well, marker's falling out. That wasn't supposed to happen. So let's see. Put everything in there. That wasn't supposed to happen. Just gonna put all the markers in that fell out. One way to get markers in. Yes, we got markers. Brand new ones. You can see. Just put it again. Yes. Now I'm going to say a little something about these markers. I thought they were not I thought they were a different brand. So just so you guys can see. Yes. I got these 168 markers for $52. And it came in a nice case and a nice marker bag. So I'll show you the bag it came in. I'm going to zip it up so you guys can see the bag. It's very much like my Copic bag. I think it's the exact same bag, only with different. Came with this, a handle. Then it also has a handle on it. They were under the name Aton. Sorry. Hi, Kim. Everybody here. Hello. So we got new markers. So you know what that means. We're going to try on the new product. I'm sorry it took me so long because my mother was using the computer. So I had to give her that. So we're going to be coloring out of Mandalas 3. I'm going to take something that's... That's color. Now I bought 168 markers for $52. When I bought them, I thought they were Aton, but instead, when you look at them, they don't look anything like what they were advertised to be. So I'm a little upset that they didn't tell me. Well, this is a nice book with nice paper for markers. So the cases are just like the ones that my Copics are in. I think one marker came loose. One marker disappeared, but that's okay. We'll find it. Usually these things happen. Two markers are missing, but that's okay. We'll find them later. I thought I'd put them all in, but I'll find the missing ones later. We have more than enough. So there's like 168 markers, so I don't think I'll be short of markers anytime shortly. This is going to be more difficult than I thought this was going to be. I might have to take out the cases individually. With this, it's not so tight, the barrel. See, this is what they come like. See, I hate when the caps come off like this because that tells me that they weren't well made. I'm having a problem with the caps. Okay. Sometimes that happens. Take that. Also, what came with this set was these two things. Now, I have a funny feeling this is a white gel pen, but I'm not really sure what this is. This is called a Schumann thing. So I'm not really sure what that is supposed to be. Now I'll add that in there. I don't know where the rest of the markers went, but I'm missing two, but that's okay. We'll just work with what we had. And I didn't swatch these either, just so you guys get an understanding of just how many markers are in there. I took them all up there. Might have to put up the tripod a little bit so you guys can see. Just how many markers there are in this set. So, what color should we work with first? What color should we work with first? 146, Mauve Shadow. There's 168 markers in this. 146, supposedly, yeah. And what they did here was, when they advertised this to me, they advertised this as Aton markers, but they haven't Touch Cool, which tells me that I think that this is an imprint of Touch New markers. So, Mauve Shadow. Let's see how juicy. And I do have a blotted page behind it. These do not feel as juicy as my other ones did. I purchased them on Amazon for $52. It was $168. You know, here's the thing you got to remember about markers. Sometimes you gamble when you buy markers. 15 Geranium. It is a good deal, but sometimes these things are not always as good as they should be. None on my belly. I'm sorry, guys, that the thing is autofocusing. I don't know why it's autofocusing today. It shouldn't be autofocusing today. I guess I didn't turn on the autofocus, or turn off the autofocus, and I can't do that now. Maybe I can. Hold on. Sorry, guys, I can't do it. I have to remember before I go live from now on not to do that. So, you know, the funny thing about markers is that they're like anything else. Sometimes I put them in number order before I begin, but number 55, Emerald Green. didn't even swatch these, so. Am I enabling today? Maybe. Do you see any books that I'm enabling, Miss Shell? Have I enabled any books today? No, I have not enabled any books today. Yes, I bought 180 for $52. These are okay. They're not as good as my other markers. They'll do for what I need. Here's the thing. If you use markers a lot like me or anybody else who uses markers, then you realize, guys, that you're going to get a lot of different people with different color variations. So I am picking blind here. No, we're not using black. I use my black marks for something else. And I'm not enabling. I paid $52 for this set. This is 168 markers. It's called Aton, but really they're really touch cool, which is an imprint of like the touch new markers. And I like that these markers are black because a lot of my other markers are white. So we can say, honest to God, I like when I get the black markers because then I know I'm using from a different set. Let me tell you something. My mother was on the computer for 4 hours. I don't know doing what, but she said she needed it, so I gave it to her, and I thought she would be done within an hour or two, and instead it turned into like 4 hours. I thought for the price point that I paid a very good price on these. And of all the marker sets I've ever bought, I've never gotten one where I've had a glove. That's the only thing that I've never gotten is a glove. In all my marker sets is a glove. I might end up buying a glove, just so I could say I have a marker glove. Later today, I'm going to have to, also I had the guys come into the house. And now that they can do with these markers, or with different ones. This one is vivid pink. Look at how vivid that is. That's a really vivid color. Let's do a blue. But these are called Touch Cool, and I'm kind of surprised because I would have rather they told me they were Touch New. Probably wouldn't have gotten them. Maybe a different green. This is pale green, 59. These are kind of a little paler than my other markers, but that's okay because sometimes pale colors are really good. I think so. These are like anytime you see something that says Touch or Touch thing, they're all the same company really. They're called like Touch Cool, Touch New. Like they come from the same manufacturer, I think. So these seem like much more muted tones. So there we go. That there. see this book here. This is a color it book. Now, what's going on with the color it books? If you get the older books, they're okay with the pencil, but I forget which book it was, but I think about maybe a year or two ago, they started changing the paper. And what happens a lot of times, and a lot of us know this, is when they change the paper, sometimes some markers work better than others. And I took out all the colors. You guys can't see this, but I took out all the colors just so it would be easier for me to find them. Took out all the trays. Yes, test them against certain paper because some paper is going to react differently depending on what you do. Like my Linda Ravenscroft book really loves my Copics love that paper on the Linda Ravenscroft book, but that paper is so thick that it's not even. I guys can't even tell you just how wonderful that book is with my markers. You know what? Let me get out a Linda Ravenscroft book so I can show you what watercolor paper does. Like this book here. This is the Linda Ravenscroft. No, they're not. Not all paper is created equal, Robin, and you're right. Say not all paper is created equal. So let's do something here. See here. Here's one. I forget what I did this with, but let's test this with the green or something else. I think I was trying to do. Oh, I do have a piece of paper in it. So. See, this is watercolor paper. This color is like 320. I don't know what the length of it is, but it's two very different. Like this paper is more glossy. And this paper is more for watercolors, but when you put markers on this, this is a very good paper. So let's look for a skin tone here. I'm looking for a skin tone here, so hold on. This is barely beige in this set, so I'm going to show you. Yeah, but I think that's because they're the way they're made. They're not made like a normal thing is made. Maybe not this page. Now that I see something on that, that's not like a normal page. But Linda Ravenscroft's books are always wonderful to color. So if I was to do the wings, now say I was to do the wings in tender pink, right? So I just want to show you the difference in what paper can do. Like let's say this is tender pink and these markers, right? Just to test them out in the watercolor paper. So you could see in this, right? When you see this, then you go back, but you do need a blotter page. But does anybody see? Oh, sorry. But when I go back, now for most paper, it's going to bleed through. You guys can't even see the bleed through on this because it's so thick of a paper. This paper is thicker when you work with markers. Like, this is one of the reasons why I like working with markers in this book, because even though I have a blotter page in it, the paper, it doesn't really go through that much on the Linda Ravenscroft. I had seen that today. I was like, oh, I will watch your finished pages video later. What's happening is now that my mother wants to start using the computer a little bit more, so I might not be coming on at normal times. I know, guys, you were expecting me to come in and do things, but then, I thought my mother would be off earlier, and she was like on it for a really long time. So tomorrow she's going to be going out, so I might come back. And I did get my bigger pencil case for the Black Widow, so I upgraded the case. So that way when the Monarchs go on sale, I'll be able to purchase them, and I'll have a case for them. So I just want to show you guys that when you use the Linda Ravenscroft book, that the paper is going to be different for that one. It's not going to be the same paper. I just want you guys to see that. Depending on the paper, that markers work. Like when I use my Create Space books, I typically tend, when I'm working in like something like Johanna Basford's books, I tend to use color pencils. When I'm working in something like Kirby's books, then I'll use something like that. Azia Purple. So you see that you can do that on different paper. And these, they have both the chisel. Now somebody says to me, well, why do you keep buying different marker sets? Well, the thing is, I go through my markers rather quickly. Some videos take longer to upload depending on your upload speed. But with the new computer, I can do those end caps. Before, I wasn't able to do the end caps for my videos on the Mac, but on this one, I can do it. So I'm very happy I'm able to do that. And this one is called Azalea Purple. This seems to be like a standard color for every set I've ever had. And I like to testing markers out like this. It shouldn't have taken that long. My videos don't take me more than an hour. Unless they're like an hour long, and then they take me like 3 hours. It might be just the speed of your connection that's off. It depends on how many people are uploading. But mine can usually, it usually takes me less than an hour to upload videos. That doesn't seem like it's the right speed, Michelle. I don't know why it would take 10 days to upload. Michelle, do you film with a webcam, a regular camera, or do you do it with your phone? Just curious which way you do it, because when I film my lives, I use a webcam. When I'm doing my regular videos, then then I do it with a regular video camera. Phone's always tricky. Coral Pink 16. That's weird. I don't know if it's just, it might be your internet connection speed. This is Coral Pink. Cameras are good in the short term, but they're not, you know, when I first started doing lives, I was doing lives with my phone, and then, you know, over I think the last 2 years, one Christmas after before I got the thing, I was very excited to get the webcam because the webcam has made my life much more easier. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my Copics. They're very expensive. But, you know, the thing about the Copics is that sometimes I can't get all the colors or all the shades that I want in the Copics. So, you know, if you get a big set, then it's different. You know, now some people have said, oh, Grace is a marker girl, but that's not true. I was a pencil girl before I became a marker girl. Now, I wish they hadn't advertised these markers as what they were and told me that they were touch markers, because I probably would not have gotten them. I probably would have gotten a bigger set of Cali Arts. But that's okay because, you know, the only way we learn what we like is by trying new stuff. Now, trying new stuff is not a bad thing. It can be a good thing because then we can find something else we might like. I'm not a big fan of everything. That doesn't mean that it's not everything is right for everybody. Number 23, orange. But you know, most of the stuff that I work in, I know what I'm getting as far as paper quality goes. Now, this orange is very similar to this red. But like I feel with like some of the newer colored books. Now, when I reviewed this book and did the flip through of this book, I didn't know that this book was defective. Someone pointed out to me that I had repeat patterns in this and that this was a defective copy. But at the point when I released the video, I didn't realize that it was a defective copy until someone pointed it out. And at that point, it was too late to return the book. So you know what I said? I'm going to work out of the book anyway because I like the mandalas in it. I can work on it as a marker book and get joy out of it. That was what I was told. I had a defective copy, so, and I didn't get it from Color It. I got it from Amazon. So I think paper is just like anything else. It depends on what you like to work on. Like I know a lot of people like to work on different things. Mint green light. You know, I did, but the problem is that I finished those books. I didn't have them with mark. I think the only book I had with marker paper was the original Bliss Volume 1. And I actually colored in that whole entire book. I think there's a flip through. I think I finished that last year. So I have some. I only have 2 books that I finished, maybe 3. I think that I finished that I kept. I think the Grazia Salva Flowers and Gems. I kept that one. I will tell you this: that Jennifer Stay's books are very good. But right now, at the moment, I'm not buying any of Jennifer Stay's books because at this moment, I got to figure out what I really want and what I don't want. Even though it seems like I'm getting new stuff in, I'm also doing some purging, cleaning, reorganizing things. So it's for me, it's not about, oh, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. No. I've never tried markers on Bristol paper. I've never even had Bristol paper. I think I've had little pads of it, but I don't have like full big sheets of it. Maybe I should buy some Bristol paper, put it in my printer, and then print an image in Bristol and see how I like coloring on the Bristol with markers because I've never tried that paper. No, Michelle will do the opening on camera. What did you get, Michelle? I've never colored on that paper, Bristol, so. I have Nina White cardstock, 90 pound, I think, is what I like. That's what I printed. What did I print on that cardstock? Oh, yes, I printed this cardstock. Even my mother liked this cardstock. This is cardstock. This is from Elegant Beauties. This is an image from Elegant Beauties. This is printed on cardstock, 90 pounds. And it works very well with pencils and it works very well with markers, but it works better with markers. I just wanted to show you guys that. So, you know. So everybody has a different medium that they like to color on. Now, I like coloring. When I'm using my Copics, I love to color on Copic paper if I can. But the problem with that paper is that it's very expensive to buy the Copic paper. Or I like to buy the Color It paper, which I have since actually run out of the Color It paper too. So I've been using cardstock to color. Not to say that cardstock is bad, it's just different paper to work on. And not all markers are created equal. You guys ever get some books that no matter what you color on, they don't work well? Pencils, markers, gel pens. But it's really nice to color on, Pink. It's really nice to color on just because it just, if you color on Copic paper with Copic markers or any other markers on that paper, it's like a dream to color on. Which book is that way? You know, I'm finding with my Kimberly Hawthorne books, I can color everything but skin tone in that book. Skin tones do not work well on that paper. I don't know how. Anne is working on those, you know. You know, I've had some issues with the Arteza products. I didn't like the Everblend markers because they kept left in yellow stains in the paper. Um, honest to God truth, I have yellow stains in some of my books because of the Arteza Everblend markers. They left yellow stains, and so I had to cover them up with other markers that didn't leave stains. I will never buy Arteza markers again. Now, their brush pens, their gel pens, and their pencils are different, but I will never buy their markers again. I will never ever use Arteza Everblends because they leave yellow marks. Even through black paper, they leave yellow marks. Pale purple, and this is number 89. I don't like the big intensities, but that's me personally. That doesn't mean I'm not a fan of them. I don't even like Sharpies, and I know Anne loves Sharpies, but it's a fact. I have some Sharpies, not a lot. Your phone! My mother will be out tomorrow. I don't like them. I really don't recommend the Arteza Everblends, and that's not a personal slight against the company because I have their pencils, I have their water brush pens, I have their gel pens, so I have their pencils. Which markers? Only markers I don't recommend for coloring books is the Arteza Everblends. If you're gonna use that on PDF files. They're not for me personally because of the yellow marks. Me and John both. If you guys don't know John, me and John are. If you guys don't know John, John is the bibliophile colorist. He was the first one to make that known about it, and then I saw that happening in my books too. And I know me and John were not the only ones that was happening, but me and John seem to be the only two color tubers that seem to have that problem with the markers. Everybody loves different markers. That's why, not every marker is going to work for you. These are very different than I thought they were. They have a lot more paler tones in them. And I finished watching The Mandalorian, which I loved Mandalorian. Guys, I absolutely loved. A lot of people like them, but I'm not a fan of them. I have enough markers as it is. Just like I didn't like stickles and I don't like pan pastels. I find pan pastels messy. Now, not everybody's going to find pan pastels messy. Some people love using them. That doesn't mean they're right for me. And tomorrow I'm supposed to get my Schrift Farmans, my new set of 96. But I still am using my 72 sets, so those should come tomorrow, my new Schrift Farmans. No, we all like something different. That doesn't mean it's any less good than something else somebody recommends. I had them. I didn't think much of them. Cobalt Blue 71. Hello? I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. Nobody. This is not TJ's phone. I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. No problem. Sorry, sometimes phone numbers happen. Sometimes we all get those numbers. You know those calls where you get the wrong number. I would not recommend buying the Everblend ones. I do like their water brushes. I do like their gel pens. Their pencils are okay. Their pencils aren't like. And now I'm also watching this. Now I started watching the second season of Quantico. I tell you, Netflix has been like one of the best things about quarantine. I know, right? It's like, why? And it seems to be in my streams more so than anybody else's. It's 53 turquoise green. Yeah, well, at least you're working. That's okay. We can all buy different things. That's what makes the community diverse. You know, we all don't have to like the same things. You know, we can buy different things. Then we learn from each other what we like, what we don't like. And sometimes you get like a mixture of awesome pictures doing different things. I chose the Mandela because I thought it would be the easiest thing to test out than the paper on this, because this paper is, well, this paper tends to like markers. This is why I tended to get it. Oh, those are supposed to be nice, the Sergeant Art Supremes, but they look a little too much like the Schiffer Farben pencils for my taste. But And then I found out they're not the same pencils, but someone says yes, they are. So some people say yes, some people say no, they're different pencils. So, but I do know they're made in the same factory. Fluorescent orange. Now, here's the problem with the fluorescent colors. Sometimes they work well, sometimes they do not. What pulp manga? Is it a Color in Heaven magazine or is it a Noel Schumacher? See, I'm taking all the things that I do here and then I'm putting them in different places. So, rose red. What else color can we do? Turquoise blue, 68. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if I want that yet. I'm not sure if I want that. You know what it is? Let me just, I'm at the point where I'm purging stuff, I'm getting rid of stuff, I'm reorganizing stuff, and I'm realizing I don't have the space to keep everything. Yeah. I'll probably get that later on in the year, not right now, because the thing with me is I'm also starting to finish some books too, so I'm kind of really proud of that. I'm on the verge of finishing a few books, so I'm kind of really proud of that. You know, maybe I'll look at it. Maybe I'll take a look and see if it's for me or not. Lavender, 83. And oh, we got the air conditioner fixed today in the house. I love those videos because it gives me ideas on what you could do with them and what you can accomplish with them. And some people you know whose pictures I love, and she doesn't use expensive materials. Like she doesn't have a lot of expensive pencils, but she still does very nice pages. What she does have is RB Dreams Art, Rita Brown channel. She does some really nice stuff with her pages, and she doesn't have expensive pencils. I'm just using her as an example, saying you don't have to have the most expensive pencils to do the nicest work. And she's a perfect example of a person who doesn't have expensive art. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, Alicia. You know what I mean? Here's a person who doesn't have expensive stuff. And, you know, she's an example of what you could do with your pages without having a lot of money. Lemon yellow. You know, people use Crayolas, and I'm like, people use super tips, and they still do nice work. Because that's what they can use. I like people who try different things and do different mediums, but here's the thing. I prefer to go live with things because when you do pre-recorded videos, you can edit the videos and say, well, I don't like the way this scene came out. But when you're live, you get a real reaction, you know, and I get your honest to God reactions on it. But, you know, I might take out a Jade Summer book and I might take out the Fairies book just to see how it works on those two different Create Space papers. So what do we want there? Carmine, 11. And rose pink. Or maybe I'll take a dark purple. Dark purple would be nice. Light violet, 82. I have the set of 100 markers that they did. I don't have the 120 set. I don't need the 120 set of Crayolas. See? The thing with me right now is that now I'm kind of a little overwhelmed with markers. Now I have a Michael's is good if you can get the deals at the right price. You know, I kind of find Michael's, I don't want to say a rip-offy, but, you know, sometimes I think, oh, like after a while shopping for art supplies, you know what the price point is. So sometimes I'll go into Michael's and see them like 20% higher than what they should be, even with the discount coupon. Thank you, Christy. I like it too. But this is also a good way to test your medium. Go into a book that has a mandala. Try and do one color each, completely random. Pick the colors, and then you get a nice different tone with it. But I did this book because the paper is as we call more a pro. So how the markers would work. And I've had some of my books for a while, so I'm sure they will eventually. It's just sometimes things take longer to do. It's like really sad, Lily. I don't like when and I'll tell you guys, I knew I was going to do this book today if I got the markers in today. If I didn't, guys, we would have been doing something out of probably Magical Jungle. Oh, Michelle, you have something coming from Amazon for me. Um, that will help you with your diamond painting. That will help you start with your diamond painting. So when you actually get the painting, you'll have some accessories with it. So you'll have something to put the diamonds in that come with whatever kit you may or may not get in the future. We all, one thing about the community is that we all help each other, we all lift each other up. Some of us may go through a rough time, but I always find that I can always turn to you guys when I'm in a rough spot. And I hope you guys can turn to me when you guys are in a rough spot as well. But you know what? We got the air conditioner now fixed. It was all because the battery wasn't working. So then we put the battery back in the little monitor thing, and all of a sudden we were able to turn on the air conditioner today. Oh my God, it feels like a different house, guys. I can't even tell you how different that feels. You guys don't even want to know how madly I've been suffering in the house. It was like a sweatshop. It's been terrible. I can't even tell you how. I had the fan on. Last week, I had the fan on when I was streaming because it was so hot. I literally thought I was going to die trying to do live streams. Now it's like hallelujah. I don't like it when it's really, really hot, but I tell you right now, it just poured like you wouldn't believe out there. Oh no, your daughter must not have been happy. Mom, how could you let him do this? It's too hot in here. Because I thought it was going to be so hot, I bought this portable little machine that's an air cooler and a humidifier in one. So that still hasn't arrived yet. And it's too late to cancel it because it's on its way. So I can't even imagine. Well, my mother says I've been cranky. You know what it is? My mother's room is so cold, but my room is so, so hot. And I don't know if that's because I have the computer up here where I am, or if it's just, been the heat and the humidity. I haven't been able to sleep right, but now that the air conditioner is back on, maybe I will be able to sleep at night better and have a better and more therapeutic sleep because, they say when you don't sleep right, that your body and your mental state is not right. Well, even still, yeah, that's true, Kim. But even still, it shouldn't be to the point where I'm like sweating at night. And this is without the comforter and without the sheets. This reminds me of that little onion. I don't think she can. I don't know that. I don't think she can. Not the way the vents are here. I loved watching the Mandal. When I was last night while I was watching the TV or Disney Plus, because that's what you watch the Mandalorian on. I thought that series was so very good. The last 2 episodes. I mean, the whole general series is really good. I didn't think I would. True, but still. Sometimes in the summertime you like it to be cold. In wintertime you need it to be hot. Oh, Mandalorian. It's so very good. I didn't think I would enjoy that, but I finally watched all the episodes. It took me about 2-3 weeks because I've been watching them as I watch other things too. So now I'm in second season of Quantico. I'm watching the second season of it. I think she's very good in it. What's her name? Priyanka Chopra is very good in it. The lead, she's very good in it. I remember watching the half of the first season, then I didn't get to watch it again because by the time it came back on, I was like kind of invested in other shows. So it's nice to be able to watch the whole series when I want to watch it. Robin, this is the beautiful thing about Netflix that I love watching those kind of things. I've watched The Order, I watched Mandalorian. I have 2 more episodes to watch of the second season of Hannah. I have finished the first 6 seasons of When Calls the Heart. So that's okay, Jessica. We're testing out new markers that I got today. I'm very happy with them. It's hard because there's a lot of different things that you want to see, but you don't get a chance to see everything all at once. And what happens is during this quarantine, I've gone back and watched a lot of stuff that I missed out on Netflix, Disney Plus, DC Universe. Yes, I'm one of those people who has Disney Universe. And I'm like kind of a little bit angry at the people at DC Universe. And it's not really their fault, the DC Universe people, but what they're doing at DC Universe is kind of weird. And this is baby blue. We all know whose favorite color blue is, right? You know what it is? A lot of us are getting invested in streaming. Here's the beauty about streaming services, and this is what I like about things like Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu. Sometimes they'll drop series, but they'll drop all 6 episodes at once, rather than us having to wait for it weekly. DC Universe does more of a TV model where every week they'll drop an episode, and then boom. But what DC Universe did, their streaming service is going to die. I know this. And I'm kind of upset about it, but I kind of understand it. Fluorescent rose. These fluorescent colors seem to be working better than previous fluorescent ones that I've had. Yes, they're called. They on the website they said that they were Aton. I have most of the streaming services, not all of them, but most of them. I have Disney Plus, Hulu, WWE streaming service, DC Universe, Netflix, Amazon. I got that with my Prime membership. The thing about me, Robin, is that I have been something that you guys may not know about me is that I've been a lifelong wrestling fan. I love WWE. I grew up watching it. I remember things like Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant from 1983, 1984. I believe, what was I, like 7 or 8 years old when that match happened? I remember thinking that these wrestlers were bigger than life, bigger than characters, you know. And as a child, you watch it and you think, "Oh my God, you've never seen it," you know. 30 years later, I find myself still watching it, but I like the NXT brand better than I like the other two brands. QVC sometimes has good deals on there. They really do. I love wrestling so very much. I grew up a wrestling fan. I grew up watching Star Wars. I grew up watching Star Trek. Now I like all the things. I like most of the treks. I haven't watched the new Star Trek yet. I probably will watch that when the whole series is done. And then just when they come to streaming service, I'll just probably binge that. Like I binge everything else. I did watch Star Trek Voyager. I loved that series when it was on the air. Did watch so I like watching Netflix because you can watch some old stuff on Netflix too. When DC Universe started, they had a lot of the old series. Like they even had the original Superman series from the 1940s, 1950s, which was in black and white. It was one of the earliest. I don't have Apple TV. I have not. I don't have Apple TV. I don't believe I have Apple TV. Streaming service I don't have. I heard Chris Evans was amazing in that Elizabeth B. Captain Langford has a new series coming to Netflix, Curse. It premieres July 17th, and that looks like it's going to be fabulous. And what's funny, guys, is the bag that these came in is the exact same bag that I bought for my Copics. Yeah, so now I have two bags with big things in them. So when I'm probably done with this set, I'll probably keep the containers and use it as a second Copic bag. My philosophy is reuse, restack. Really, guys, these are the best ways to use new markers as far as I'm concerned because you get a nice idea of what the range of colors is. Those gift cards come in handy. I like Amazon Prime because I got to see what did I get to see that I'm excited that's coming on Amazon. Well, I like the first season out here and I almost done with the second season. I only have like 2 or 3 more episodes to do it. It was like 168 slot thingy, but that bag's no longer being sold on Amazon. It's out of stock right now, so I don't know when they're gonna stock it up. But there's another bag that was similar to the other bag that you bought. Now, yesterday on Facebook, some of you guys asked me where I got my new diamond painting, the silver one. I got that pen. If you guys saw my Facebook page on my Facebook group, and on Shalene's, I posted a diamond pen that I got. Now, that pen came from Jim's Handmade shop, so it was made there. So I'm hoping within the next week or two that I will be done with the Victoria Moon diamond painting. And then I can start one of the nice big ones. One of my Diamond Art Club, or maybe even one from Treasure Art Studios if the Treasure Art Studio ones come. I've been waiting almost like I think since when? When did I order that? May I ordered that, I think. Yeah, May I ordered that. So I've been waiting about 2 months for those. But I knew I was going to wait long because of this, pandemic. Oh, what was the name of the bag? I'd have to check my orders, Robin. Hold on. I had ordered 2 bags. I'm looking up the name now in my orders. There was the one which was the Too Good large storage tote bag for marker pens, brush pens, and that held up to 130. That's the one that was similar to your one for the Tombow markers, and then the one that I'm keeping my Copics in was called a Magma 168 slot markers carrying case. It was called Magma 168 slots markers carrying case. That was the name of it. So that was the name of those bags. Yeah, but I don't like that. I like the ones that have the slots and that's nice. It's different. Those are too much like the cases I already have. So this is our marker thing. Now, some of you were asking me before about paper. Now, here's a high-end quality book, but this paper is like 120 gram, 100. No, this one is like 300. This is Linda Ravenscroft. Where does my screen have a heartbeat? Oh, thank you, Miss Michelle. What do you mean my screen has a heartbeat? Now, some of you know this, that this. Now, when you color in something like this, the paper is going to come out differently for the markers. Now, this paper is specifically thicker than any other paper that you will get in any other book, maybe besides the Jane F. Hankins and the Jennifer Stay. So, you see how the paper works like this? Then when you turn it over, see, but this paper is different. You can't even tell because the paper is so thick on the Linda Ravenscroft book. But if you really turn up this paper, right? Miss Ann always tells us what's the sign of a nice marker. And you can see that it went through, some of it went through. So, but you can tell that the marker went through the paper. So that's a sign of a nice juicy marker paper being done. You know? Then you have this one. Then someone was asking me about, then someone was asking me about paper in this one. I'm going to show you something I did recently in this one. I did this entirely with Monelli markers and Copics. Now this one is the paper that's on this is the other crazy ass create space paper. This one is very straight. Some of you can tell that I've done a lot of work with marker in this book. Just so you guys can see kind of what I did with this book. To see the paper in this. Here's one that I did with Copics and some Cali arts. This here, his brown shirt was done with Cali art. The brown he was done with Cali arts. The girl was done with Copics. Just to show you guys. I didn't put a background because I didn't think it needed a background. I just wanted to do it like that. So I want to show you guys that. And then you have the paper like this, which is the Demeter Victoria paper. I want to show you this. This was done with gel pens, Copics, Monellis, and Cali arts, and Pentel Sparkle. So you guys can see that you can use the markers on this. Also, I want to show you another one that I did in this. Where's that dark skin one there? Then there's this one. I'm really proud of this one because this is my first dark skin girl that I ever did in grayscale. This is one of my first attempts at dark skin. And I did the dark skin with Copics because I wanted to try to do something different. I just had a feeling that I just wanted to do something very, very different with her. I did this entirely in Copic markers. But this book, what's funny about this is, guys, if you're going to do use this paper to do blending, 4 layers. It took me 4 layers to do this. But be careful how you use your layers because you do not want the paper to buckle. I don't think if I had done more than 4 layers, it would have buckled. This was a 4-layer skin job. So be careful when you use your markers on some of these books because sometimes the paper will buckle. The wetter your medium is, the more it will buckle. Right now, it's not buckling, but be careful about buckling with some of the cheaper paper. But this paper is weird because even though it's Amazon paper, it's like in the Christine Karen, this book, all of her books that are grayscale and are on this paper, it's kind of weird because this paper is like really glossy with it. And I don't know why it's glossy. But the way it's printed is very glossy. So I just want you guys to do that. Yeah, 4 layers with markers, yeah. Anything more than 4 layers, it buckles. I learned that the hard way, Kim. This paper you can layer more than 4. Someone was telling me they layer with 6 before it was buckling. The higher the end the paper is, the more you can layer on it. Keep that in mind. Most people can't layer more than 4 or 5 on some papers. Someone did such skin tone video where they did that. You know, if you have a pretty subject, you can do it. You know, I also tell people this: if you have good art, it doesn't matter what you use. So I just want to tell you guys what you can do with that. So some people don't, but sometimes you don't want to overdo it, Jessica. So see, that's you, but some people they don't like buckling paper. I don't mind buckling paper if it is the last layer that I'm doing. So that was our touch cool markers or the Aton markers. So I hope you all have liked the stream. Happy coloring, everybody. And I hope you all have a good day. It was really raining and pouring today. So hope everyone had a good day. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.